I spent 10 years building things that you want to become, and I'm here to tell you that doesn't exist anymore. Right now, there's a version of design in your head. You know it. Perfect. Sketching, creating, making things beautiful that change the world. You are the artist, you are the visionary, you are the one people look at and say, oh, this is the guy who made that design. That person, that version gone. Replaced with something that you didn't sign up for. And the worst part is, companies are still hiring for the ghost, still asking for the design dream, but when you show up, they want completely different thing. And in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happened, why it happened, and what actually need to become to survive in this field in 2026. Because staying attached to that dream, that is how you become unemployed. This video is split into three parts. First, what do you think design is? Second, what actually it is now? And third, what it means for you if you are entering into these fields. We will keep all the data real, no sugar coating, just straight from someone who has been sketching, designing, coding alongside for a decade. So let's start with the framework illusion versus reality. So, your dream of design versus what you actually became. 10 years ago, design was completely different garden. You had a space to sketch, you had a space to present, and done. Today, that garden doesn't have any more walls. It has merged with the engineering, it has merged with the product thinking, it has merged with the business decision. And you are not a designer only, you are a hybrid of all. And most of the people do not know yet. Okay, so think of it like a wolf pack hunting. A decade ago, wolf was alone, sharp eye, perfect instinct, hunted solo and owned the kill. Now, wolf hunt in packs. A wolf without understanding the pack dynamics get left behind or pushed out. So design shifted from solo wolf to pack hunters, but you are still training like a alone wolf. Netflix design team did not create interface alone. Engineers built alongside. Product manager challenges every pixel. The design was not beautiful, it was functional and made money. Apple designed same thing. Johnny Ive did not sit and sketch in a room. He worked with engineers who told him this will not compile. He worked with supply chain who might have said this may cost 40% more than the other design. So design is now a cost benefit decision. It's not a art decision. Let me tell you what changed in your actual day-to-day work. So 5 years ago, you would design a button, make it perfect, hand it over to the developer team. They would build it. Sometimes it would look different, and then you fight about it. Okay, so this need to be changed. But today, you are in Figma file. Dev is watching you. They are saying, okay, so this need a hover state. Product is saying this need to load faster. You are building the hover state together while Dev is explaining the performance impact. So you are not designing anymore. So you are negotiating in real time with the developer and other stakeholders. When I started, I thought I was an artist. I used to spend months perfecting gradients, obsessed with color theory and golden ratio and all of it. One day, a developer told me, Sanu, your design looks pretty, but it does not work in a Indian 3G network. And I was like, what? My beautiful design crashed the app. And that is when I realized I was not a designer. I was the problem solver pretending to be an artist. Here is the hard truth. You can spend 10,000 hours in Figma and still not understand why design fails, how design get built, and why engineers reject your mockups, why users not using your features. A kid can learn Figma in 3 months, but design is now about understanding the system, constraint, trade-off. It's not about how your design looks good or not. It is about how it works. The design industry is not dying because AI came. It is dying because design stopped being a solitary craft. It becomes a part of a machine with engineers, product managers, data analytics, and user researcher. Your solo sketching, that is now 10% job. The other 90% is communication, understanding code, understanding business, understanding the overall stakeholders and the scenarios. It is like a difference between solo guitarist and a band. So a solo guitarist can be brilliant, perfect technique, captivating, but a guitarist in a band needs to play the right note at the right time, need to hear the drummer, need to make a right space and the right bass. So same person, different context, completely different skill set. Let's talk about money because that is what it matters. A designer who only designs are replaceable. Tools gonna replace them within 2 to 3 years, but a designer who understand the development, who understand the product, who understand the business side of it, become the design leader and makes 2 to 3x more money and not replaceable at all. So the dream was not a lie because design disappeared. The dream was lie because definition of design has changed and nobody updated it. Here is what actually happening right now. So companies are hiring design engineers, people who design and code. They are hiring product designers, people who design, code, think and strategize. So they are not hiring UI designers who only use Figma. That job is gone. The garden had wall, those walls came down. Now you are competing in an open field with the people who can do more than you. I will give you a real example from a project I have worked on. So last year, I was on a cross-function team. A designer joined, talented, fresh, incredible Figma skills, and portfolio was sharp, 10 out of 10. First week, developer asked in a stand-up meeting, why you choose this color? She explained the color theory, golden ratio, color psychology. Perfect. But the dev team said it does not have enough contrast, accessibility fails. She did not know what was the constraint and started designing. Second week, the product lead asked, will this design increase the user retention? She looked confused. She had been thinking about aesthetics, not outcome. Third week, she designed a navigation flow that was beautiful, but it would require a backend refactor that cost 3 weeks of dev time, and she did not know. Nobody had told her about the boundary. By the 4 week, I could see the frustration in her face, and she kept saying, "But this design was beautiful," and everyone said this was beautiful, but this need to be working right. This should need to solve the problem. She left the project, not fired, just did not fit. And I remember thinking this was not her fault. She learned the design in an isolated way, the beautiful way. And now the things have changed. Industry moved. She did not know about this. So design is not solo anymore. You are no longer sitting alone perfecting pixels. You are in a room, virtual or real, with engineers saying this will not work. Product saying users do not need this. Users saying I do not understand this. So design is now a conversation. If you can't communicate better, you can't design better. It is not design first, build second anymore. So it is simultaneous. You are designing the hover state while the dev team explains why it need to be different. You are iterating on the buttons while the performance engineer says this is too heavy. You need to understand why something is built in a certain way, not just what to build. So what design dream is actually? It is not about making beautiful things alone in Figma. It is about being useful in the team. It is about solving real problem with real constraints. It is about understanding your beautiful ideas might not work and being okay with it. The dream is now can you make something that works, that looks good, that doesn't break, and that help people in their day-to-day life. This is hard. This take years, decades to learn, but this is the real garden right now. We have covered three things. One, what you think design is. Two, what design actually become, like hybrid, collaborative, development, integrated. What this means, your solo Figma skills are 10% of the job and 90% are everything else. So here is my question. If you are entering in design, you are preparing for the garden that does not exist or the one that actually here. Drop me a comment. What is the biggest shock that you have had moving from design dream to the reality? And if you are building design skills, you need to understand this context shift. This is what separates a designers who get hired in 2026 versus a designer who get replaced. So yes, that is it, and keep showing up. That all it takes.